Welcome to the Co-Host Bros Podcast, where we break down everything short-term rentals, entrepreneurship, and building a profitable hospitality business. Whether you're a host, investor, or property manager, we share real strategies, real insights, and real experiences to help you scale smarter and grow faster. Let's dive in.
What is going on, party people, and the place to be? Welcome to episode 100. I don't know because I didn't look, and I just told Austin I failed to plan, so you plan to fail. My name is Matt Codd, and I'm here with Austin Spitzenberger. We are the Co-Host Bros Podcast. So what's going on, everybody? Austin. Oh, you can do the introduction because I failed the introduction too, Austin. So
yeah, no worries.
You might as well just give it a whirl.
Yeah, amazing. No worries. You gotta just wing it, and you kind of botch it as you go. Sometimes you nail it. You never know what's gonna happen over here. But anyways, today's guest is Stephanie Rounds. That's how you pronounce the name correctly, Matt. So that's 1 for 1 out of 100 plus episodes.
Tough
1 for 1, 100% success rate pronouncing names correctly. Stephanie, how are you doing today?
I am great, thank you. Happy to be here. Happy to meet you both. I already can tell we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what we try to do.
Oh, yeah.
We try to do that. But yeah, Stephanie, we're super excited to have you on today. If you don't mind, give us maybe a little bit of a background of kind of how you got into this space and maybe what it is that you do.
Good question. I got into this space in a unique way. A lot of people know me as a photographer. I came in working with VRMA at the international conference, at all of their conferences, actually doing headshots, working with a lot of different companies. I would set up in their booth at the conferences and just do headshots throughout the whole event. So I got to know so many people that way. And it was pretty awesome because I created relationships with who they were, not necessarily who they worked for or what company they were with, but who they were as people. So it was a fun way for me to get to know people from the get-go. And that was 12 and a half years ago. So, and I've been involved in the industry ever since and still do photography. I was just at VR Nation last month doing headshots there. And I love it because it's a great way to just keep in touch with everybody throughout the year.
How was VR Nation?
It was good. It was good. Heidi and her team do a fantastic job. Have you guys been?
No, I had bought a ticket and we had Tara on our show maybe like 10-ish episodes ago, maybe a month before, maybe a month-ish before. And she told me we were third place from our episode in the code, I guess, ticket sales that helped them do it, which was good.
Nice.
Yeah, so she told me, she emailed me, and then my kid, he started daycare. And I guess what I didn't realize is when they start daycare, they're prone to getting very sick. So he got sick, I got sick, yes. And I wasted my money on a ticket. But, no worries. I'll go next year or something like that. But I was planning on going, but I didn't make it this year, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm just curious how that went.
It's a good conference. I've been involved with them for the last several years doing photography, but also going when I was with Better Talent as well. And they do a really good job. They think outside of the box a little bit. They've got something called the Housekeeping Olympics that is just so fun to watch. And their education tracks are pretty spot on too. So I enjoy that group a lot. Very relaxed.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said the Better Talent thing, that you used to be there because Steve Trover, right? That's the guy over there. Yeah, he's our next guest. So he's coming on.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's coming on Friday. So that was just ironic the way that worked. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's our Friday guest. But anyways,
he's instrumental in how I actually got into the industry.
Yeah,
honestly, he was the president of VRMA when VRMA hired me to come on as the photographer.
Nice. Very cool. So when you said photography, I was thinking you were doing like photography for properties. That's not the case.
Okay. It is not I mean, I do that. I have my own photography business on the side and I have done that. But with this industry, I was specifically working with VRMA, photographing their event, getting all of their marketing materials and then doing headshots at the booth.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, and with Steve being president of VRMA 12 years ago when I came in, it was pretty full circle when then I started working for him at Better Talent.
I love it. Okay. Gotcha. So run me through again, like what it is, maybe. So that's what you're mostly doing today. Like run me through, I guess maybe your course in hospitality industry overall.
That's a good question. So was doing photography for many years. I started working with Steve at Better Talent in January of 2022. Was with them for about 4 years, and now I am currently with JJ and Riley at Beachside doing. I'm their owner relations manager. And loving it. It's really cool for me to learn this side of the industry now because I've been on the vendor side per se, and now I'm on the property management side, and it's been amazing to really learn and dive into that.
We had JJ King on. That dude is very smart, very smart guy.
He's so smart, so smart.
Yeah, he was a few episodes back. Haven't had Riley on. That'll be a cool one of these days. Maybe he'll come on. But very cool.
He's pretty brilliant. Yeah, he's pretty brilliant.
You guys so how long have you been with them? Because they have had like a tremendous amount of growth in such a short period of time.
Yeah, the company's almost 5 years old. I believe 5 years old in October. I've been with them since the beginning of January. So, and I've known Riley a little bit longer than that. But as far as being with them as a company, beginning of January. So just finished 5 months, coming up on 6 months.
Okay, gotcha. How is your owner relations? How is your owner's relations role? Do you enjoy doing it? That sounds challenging to say the least.
It is challenging, but honestly, I love a good challenge, and it really lets me dive into the relationship aspect of things. That's what I love, and that's been what the core of what I've done, whether it's photography, Better Talent, any other roles I have. It's the relationship based, right? And that's what this role allows me to do too, is really dive into my relationships with the owners, get to know them, know their birthdays, things like that, and really get to know them as people. And I love that aspect of it.
Yeah, I think you've got to have you've got it's not for everybody. There's a certain personality type. You've got to really like people, I feel like, and I feel like you got to have thick skin,
thick skin, a lot of patience, to just kind of sit and listen a lot, because a lot of times they don't want to be heard, right? They want to know that somebody's hearing what they're saying, and that's important. So it does. I don't know. I love it. I've really grown to really love it. The beginning, you're learning a lot. It's kind of all thrown at you. But now nearly 6 months in, I'm feeling real comfortable with it.
Nice. And do you live in, well, I don't even remember what market they're in. They're somewhere in the Florida beach market, right? Like, do you live in the area? Or are you oh no, you're remote, right? I think that you said that before.
I'm remote.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm remote. The Beachside's it's in the Space Coast, Cocoa Beach area, Space Coast of Florida. I'm in Indiana.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it works well. Like our whole team, the majority of the team is there in the area, boots on the ground, very, very local based. I used to live in Orlando for 12 years, so I'm very familiar with the area too. So it's very easy for me to talk through that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to reference that if you guys want to listen to the episode with JJ, it's 89, and the one with Tara is 98. It comes before 96 because we recorded it. We had to put it out early. Don't just think that I'm not very smart, but I might not be. So I think it's cool that you're here because you're showing other people that there's other ways to get in the short-term rental space than just managing properties or owning properties. It's cool you do photography. I got a really expensive camera and I still suck at it, but it's cool. I'll keep trying.
Yeah.
I just, I couldn't see charging people every time like they wanted to add arcade or something stupid, and it's like it didn't make sense to like have it reshot, and yeah, it just didn't work out for me. But practice makes perfect, I guess, huh?
Absolutely.
So, are you still shooting events, or are you just strictly working for JJ now?
I do still have my photography business. Obviously I do that when I'm not, Beachside is my full-time job. That's my focus, but VR Nation, I was doing headshots there. So it's nice that they can coincide like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
JJ knows you're on lunch right now, right?
He knows it's on my calendar. So the whole team knows I'm here.
Okay, cool. Let me delete my LinkedIn DM.
Oop.
So do you have any, do you ever think like that maybe you'll invest in short-term rentals, or is this something you're thinking out, or are you invested in short-term rentals? I mean, how do you feel about short-term rentals in general?
Oh, I love them, and I've stayed in them. Obviously, I love this industry a lot. I've honestly not thought if I've ever invest in one personally. I don't know. That's a good question.
Why not?
Question. Well, I'd want to live there all the time, honestly, depending on where it was. I don't know that people would make money off of me because if it was on the beach, I'd want to be there all the time.
Well, I mean, it might be a good investment then.
It would be a good investment. Something to think about for the future, for sure. I love real estate.
Yeah. Well, so what do you love about real estate then? Tell us everything.
I love looking at all of the real estate. I love looking at homes. I like walking through them. I like really thinking. I mean, they are a great investment. I own my own home here, so I definitely understand the investment aspect of it for sure.
And you said you're in Indianapolis, right? Indiana?
Yeah. North side of Indiana.
I got a friend that buys a lot of long-term rentals out there in Indiana, and she actually got some are short-term rentals, and she was like, yeah, this house does really good. She does like, it does like 40 grand, but I paid like $100,000 or $70,000 for it or something.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, really, in that neighborhood? And she's like, yeah, I don't know why. It's just so good. And then we were all talking about the Chicago Bears. They were some other little town was trying to pick them up.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, we should go buy houses there in that town right now. That'd be perfect, because I can't remember what the town name is. I was like sending articles to our group, but it's just crazy because you don't realize, like, I'm like looking at her house and I'm like, dude, it's like, you know, it's like a dump. It's like in a dumpy neighborhood. She's like, it does great. And I'm like, oh man, it's like, you don't think about that stuff because you just think vacation, right? You don't think that
yep.
People are coming.
Yep. I wonder what part of she's in Indianapolis area.
Yeah, I'd have to look. I'd have to ask her because I can't remember offhand. Last time I talked to her was in January in Florida. I mean, we messaged here and there, but I forgot where she is. Okay. But it's a small town near Indianapolis. I think it's on the outskirts.
Okay. And I wonder, like, I live in a town called Westfield, which is on the north side of Indianapolis, and Grand Park Sports Complex is here. And there's been a lot more vacation rentals popping up because so many teams come in to this area specifically for long weekend sports tournaments. So I'm sure it could be very lucrative.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was highly surprised, especially the prices she was getting that houses at. I think it's near where she lives. She lives in like Lafayette, I think.
Oh,
Indiana.
Okay. But, yep, that's where Purdue. I went to Purdue. That's where that is.
But yeah, I was just like, you're spending 70 grand on these houses? She's like, yeah, and I'm furnishing them with Facebook Marketplace. And I'm like, that still works? Like, hold on a minute, you know? So maybe it could be your first investment.
I mean, yeah.
Away from home.
Yeah, you never know. Or a little.
Is there a town called Braden? Does that sound familiar or no? I don't know off the top of my head, but Braden maybe? I don't know. I think it started with a B, but I'm not sure.
Brownsburg?
Well, maybe that's it. That could be it.
That's an outskirts.
I'm going to ask her after this, but probably I think so. So you're dealing with all the communications with all the owners for JJ?
Yes.
At all 300 and some odd owners?
We have over 300 properties. We do not have 300 owners yet. We're creeping.
Oh, yeah, some are condos.
Yeah. Some are buildings, some are condos. They own multiple units. So we're creeping up closer to 100 right now. So yes, and that is, I get to talk to all of them.
Nobody else, huh? Just you?
I have a team. We have Jamie, who is my assistant, and then Brooke is the onboarding manager. So the three of us work together as an owner relations team, but I'm the point of contact for the owners.
Damn, Austin, she gets an assistant. We're in the wrong job.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. She's amazing. Yeah.
So what do you think is maybe one of the more challenging things that you face with owners? Like, what do you find as maybe some of the difficult part of owner relations?
The one thing that I'm learning the most about, I will say, is the revenue management aspect of it. Because when you think of owner relations, at least when I did, you think about the relationship part of it. You think about keeping them happy, keeping that communication open. I didn't realize how much revenue management would come into play in that, and needing to know that, and the numbers, and the optimizing of listings, and all the things that come into play. So that's been a learning experience for me, and will continue to be a learning experience for me as well. And then when they just come at you with some random questions that
Yeah.
you're like, hold a moment, please. Let me find that answer for you.
Yeah, I don't know how you handle that. For the most part, I don't react until I figure out what's going on. So like if they call, it's on my radar, but it's more of like, why is this person calling me? So I can more get prepared. And if there's nothing, then I call them back. But for the most part, it's like I don't want to get caught on a call blindsided.
Yes.
But it's like, hey, I'll
Yes.
call you right back. And then if I go to my Slack channel, it's like, hey, is there any reason they would be calling me for an example? And if that give me some kind of background information, then I could go and make the phone call. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yep.
I'd rather not get caught with my did I cut out there? Yeah, I'd rather just not get caught with my pants down. So I'm like, I would rather prep that way. So that's always a challenging thing. What do you
Yes,
think?
agreed.
Oh no, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I completely agree. When I first started and I was getting bombarded with calls and I was still learning and I'm like, I finally just said, I'm brand new to the team. I just need to find the answer for you and I get back to you. And they respect that, right? Like you acknowledge. But yeah, I like to be as prepared as possible as well for whatever questions might be thrown my way.
Yeah. What's one thing that maybe what's one thing that works really well so far? Our people listening are vacation rental managers. What's one thing you think that you do that works really well with handling homeowners, or something that you put in place that over there that your homeowners really like? Or give us some insight on like kind of maybe something we can take away from this and maybe implement in our business that's working well for you.
Yeah, sure. It's been nice because Riley and JJ have just been so awesome and just been letting me kind of take the role and run with it. So we're doing newsletters now. We're creating those quarterly newsletters. We're getting ready to implement monthly surveys because we really want to dive into, what are we doing right? What could we do better at? Things like that. Because I love the feedback and how we can always do better. Those two things we are implementing. Anytime I talk to somebody, I always ask if they want to meet face to face like this or if they want to have a Zoom call, because I feel like there's something to be said for that face to face conversation versus a text or phone call or an email. It just deepens that relationship a little bit more, humanizes us. Honestly, I kind of want to put faces to the names of our company so that owners know who's working for them all the 24/7, right? That we're real people. We have families, we have kids, we have things going on. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do little by little and giving them a glimpse as to who I am as a person too. So they feel like they get to know me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think there's a lot of value in being able to meet face to face, especially with y'all's company. With even though you guys have had tremendous success over a short period of time, 5 years is still, you guys are still growing really fast. So like all these homeowners that are you're onboarding really don't. Yeah, they probably bought into your business model because you guys are great operators and good at what you do. That's how you sign them. Um, but there's the face-to-face component of it, getting to know them and building the relationship, because they're always, at first everybody, like when they onboard, they're skeptical, they have a lot of questions, and then that's where you come in and you're like, hey, it's a little bit more challenging at first, but do you see that over a period of time after working with them, they kind of loosen up and they start to gain trust with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brooke is our onboarding manager. She's the one that is onboarding the homes and meeting them, going through all of the logistics of the onboarding. And once that's done, then we have a meeting with Brooke, myself, and the homeowners. So there's kind of a handoff that happens. So then they meet me and they know I'm their point person going forward. And it's nice. It's kind of cohesive and seamless, and it makes them feel taken care of and knowing that they're going to be, taken care of each step of the way.
Gotcha.
So it's nice that way.
Are you over like kind of these monthly surveys? Is that something that you're kind of keeping an eye on and watching those? What does that process look like? And like how are you guys using that in your business? Because we don't do that, but I've heard of other, people. I've heard of a lot of operators that do that, and that's really great. Talk me through that. Like that seems like a very proactive approach. And should other vacation rental managers be sending out surveys to their homeowners? And if they should be, how often should they be doing it? Like, run me through that process.
Well, to be honest, we're just implementing it now. We're in the process of it
Gotcha.
because I've only been here 5 months. It's been something we've been building. So the first one is going to go out within the next couple weeks. But we have it set up so we can see, we want a certain percentage response rate. We're only going to do 1 or 2 questions to start just because we want them to respond. We're not going to hit them with a 10 question survey because, we all know they're probably not going to take the time to do that. So 1, maybe 2 pointed questions, and then go from there as we collect the data and what they're looking for from us, really, and how we can do better. So I'll get back to you on that, on how it works as it rolls out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that makes sense. And it's almost like a more proactive approach versus them calling you and telling you about something that you maybe are not aware of. And then you're like my conversation earlier where you're caught off guard versus, hey, they put this in the survey. And that was like not a phone call. What didn't have to be reactive about it. They submitted it and I saw this was flagged and we can go now and be proactive, fix it, and let them know
Yes.
that so it's almost like
Yes.
it's like a layer before it becomes a phone call almost. So
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Austin, can you elaborate more about that for people who don't know? So is it more like a how are we doing type survey, or is it like, can you elaborate what you've heard other people do out of curiosity?
You're asking me. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Well, Stephanie can elaborate too.
Yeah,
whoever would like to elaborate.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know they've sent out I've just heard other operators, they send out like a monthly survey on how do they think their property is performing, how is the level of service, things about their team. And I don't know what the specific questions are. And she said she's kind of early in the process, so she may not know either, but they're just asking 1 or 2 questions up front. But it's more of just like gauging the general theme is like gauging owners' feedback and just seeing how they're feeling and how they perceive the service. And if they do perceive things that you don't see and they're like, hey, I think this was really bad, but you were never aware of it. Now you're in a situation where you can kind of take a proactive approach. And we don't do this. So I'm not trying to say that I have it all figured out. I don't by any means, but it's something that now that we're talking about, it's like, well, there's always something you can implement in your business to make better. And it's the small things like this, like it might be something for me to, for us to take a look at.
Yeah, I think our goal is to have it be beneficial just to learn those things. As you pointed out, Austin, that we might think we're doing great at something and then they come back with, not so much. And so it's great feedback to hear what's working for them, what's not working for them, what we can do better. Our goal is to always be better. So how we can do that specifically with the owners, that feedback will be huge for us.
Yeah, and it kind of sets expectations too, because let's say for me, the way I think of it, my day-to-day, what I do is like, okay, well, what if there was a question? Let's say I'm over everything revenue management, right? Everything revenue management. You were talking about that earlier. It's like, hey, one of the questions maybe could be something, how do you think your property is doing from a revenue management perspective? Maybe they switched from a manager that was underperforming and now they're doing well. And they'll say, hey, that's great. I'm doing really well. Or maybe they're like, hey, I don't think my property is doing that well, and this is a big red flag for me, and I think I should be making more money. Well, now I can say, so-and-so submitted their survey. They think they should be making more money. Let me really go look at it. So I'm going to go do a deep dive on their listing. Deep dive isn't like just glance it over, look at the market, say it's a, whatever, 5-bedroom house with the pool. Okay, let me pull all the 5-bedroom houses with a pool in the area and let's see where they are performing. Hey, and then you can say, hey, I'll give them a call, whatever. Say, hey, I noticed you submitted some feedback saying you don't think so that your management, or maybe it's a red flag and you're like, hey, this is actually a property that is underperforming and we need to get it in gear. Or you can say, hey, maybe their expectations are a little off and you just need to have that call and say, hey, look, saw your survey, just wanted to show, here's the comp set. You're in the top 15% of the market. And, you are doing really well. If there's anything we could be doing better, happy to have that call. So I don't know what the series of questions is, but it's something definitely I'm going to consider implementing at some point. It's just kind of the way I see it is taking a more proactive approach to being more in communication with the homeowners.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
And intentional. I like to use that word intentionally, like in being proactive, as you were saying, just getting ahead of the ball, really, so that you're not just getting the calls of things that are wrong, right? That you just want to have that relationship that things are right. Like we're fixing them ahead of time, we're catching them ahead of time, and being intentional with how we're doing that.
Yeah, I love it. So we'll have to.
No, and it's genius too.
Go ahead,
I mean, I'm sorry, Joss. It's genius because I think a lot of vacation rental management companies don't do that. They don't do customer relations or customer satisfaction. I think even as big as Vacasa was, if they would have done that, they probably would have had a longer retention and a longer LTV, lifetime value of their customer, versus just not communicating with the customer and here's your statement and here's your money. Here's your money.
Yeah.
So,
and
I
think another point about this is like, you have to remember at the end of the day, we already do this for guests on every single stay, right? But like at the same time, we're running a hospitality business. That's great. Guest is great. But at the end of the day, who pays you? The homeowner pays you.
Right.
Without them, you have no business. So like, I think it's almost like for me, I'm having a little bit of a mindset shift just in this conversation of like, well, it's great to have 4.97 star reviews on your Airbnb account. Fantastic. But at the end of the day, like, your homeowner is your client. The guest is not your
Absolutely.
client. Like, that's it. They pay you,
Yep.
not the guest. The guest pays them. So you are best serving the homeowner, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way to think of it sometimes. And I think maybe because I came into this, this is the first time on the property management side for me. And I came in, I'm very relationship based. I'm like, okay, what can we do to keep people happy? What can we do to communicate? And so that's just kind of my mindset in general as a whole, as a person. So that is a little bit easy for me to do because that's just kind of how I live my life in general, which is why I enjoy it as well. But keeping the homeowners happy, keeping them feeling like they're seen and heard, like we talked earlier, I think is key for retention and keeping them. And that's the end goal really for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that people like. It's funny because like if you're in it the whole time, you're like, damn, why is this guy texting me? What does he want? But I think that you get fresh eyes because you get to go in there, right? Like, I mean, example, like every Christmas I send my customers a gift, like up to $75. Just so you know, guys, only $25 is a tax write-off. But if you put some marketing materials in there, then it is considered a marketing expense instead.
There you go.
But so I do send my, whatever I think they like, or if I go proud of their Facebook or something, like I don't tell them, we just send them something. But I think that connection's important, like Austin said, because that's who pays us, right? The guests do pay us, but we wouldn't be getting a percentage of what the guest pays without those clients. So I always ask on contract renewal for Google reviews off my clients, and I offer them some kind of incentive. Or like, Google reviews from my guests. And that was something that JJ was like, I think JJ was telling us about, was it JJ was telling us about the Google reviews. And I was like, I got to set this up now. So it's like, cause you don't think about that stuff, right? So it's like everybody's sharing best practices, and we've seen the big companies come and go at this rate. And I think customer client relations, or is what you could say, is going to be what takes most people's businesses to the next level. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's something to be said for that. Not that it's white glove service, but you know what I mean? Just taking that extra time and care to really know your homeowners. Send a birthday card, send an anniversary card. That's one thing I want to start here, is finding out everybody's anniversary with Beachside. And on that day, sending them a little something from us saying, hey, thanks for this partnership. We really enjoy this. Looking forward to continued success going forward. Just little things like that go a long way, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It does. And I think that's how it started. Me and my wife were like, oh, we should do Christmas cards. And then we're like, you know what, let's just send them a gift. Like, so it's cool. And it could, it's not a lot, out of your pocket. Same thing as giving your cleaners gifts. You appreciate your cleaner, you appreciate your paycheck from your owners. So, and I like that we're talking about this, because I don't think we really even talk about this ever. Have we ever even talked about the client relationship side besides them being a pain in the ass sometimes? honestly, I mean, we haven't. So it's like,
we talked a lot about firing.
Sharing best practices.
We talked a lot about firing bad clients.
So let's talk about keeping them, guys. Keeping the clients that you can keep.
Well, and it's important, like that, everybody has those few, right? It makes life interesting when you've got just those few that just kind of keep you on your toes a little bit more. But it's also important to know when it's okay to maybe let one of them go if they're doing more harm than good for your team, for your company as a whole, whatever that may be. But yeah, let's focus on keeping them instead of letting them go.
Yeah. And then if they do leave, just remember, if they come back, the price gets higher, guys. It's like my pest control company. I have a pest control company, and I moved here like 5 years ago. It's like $35 a month. I'm talking to the owner, and he's like, well, can you set up pest control for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll use mine. Like, they're pretty cheap. And I have to call him back. I'm like, no, dude, they're like $66 a month. I'm sorry. He's like, wow. I was like, I'm grandfathered in. I had no idea. Like, I didn't realize that it was going to be double. And he's like, all right, cool. But it was just funny because it was like, you think like, oh yeah, $35 would be a good deal.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, dude, that was like 5 years ago. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay.
Makes you feel more lucky that you have that price.
Yeah. Oh, I thought in my head, like, I'm never canceling this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay that much more. So,
I am staying with you forever. Loyalty.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, but that's how you get it, right? So it's like the relationship. So, I mean, they text me every time they're coming. They're like, oh, leave us a review, this and that. I mean, it annoys me, but I mean, it's like, it's good customer service too, right? So, you've been doing this for 6 months. So what's the hardest thing that you've had to deal with when it comes to client relations? Give us all the dirt. All of it. John, that guy, John. I'm just kidding.
I will say, and I was just talking to our general manager about this yesterday. I feel really lucky with the owners that we have. And I say that truthfully. Like, I can list 3 that have kept me on my toes, right? Like, no matter what you do, they're just not ever happy. And they enjoy being unhappy, or they enjoy being negative. And that's maybe the person who they are. So that is difficult for me, because I am always a more positive person. I'm like, okay, let's see how we can fix this. Let's work through this. What can I do to help? But there's that 1 or 2 that just won't have it, and they just will not get out of their negativity. And that makes it difficult for me.
You're a vibes person, huh? You
I am.
like to be around the positive energy, and then when you're around the negative energy enough, and all of a sudden you're a negative Nancy, right?
Oh, I do not let it get to me. I see it, and I see it happening, and I'm like, I refuse to be a part of that. I'm a kill them with kindness kind of person. Like, if you have somebody who's just angry all the time and just is not gonna I will just be like, hey, hope you're having a great day. Like, just annoyingly, right?
Yeah.
Be positive.
I have done that. I mean, I've done a lot of different customer service positions, or dealt with the public a lot, and I like it. They're like, you're an asshole. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Have a nice day. I hope to see you again. And then they're just like, fuck you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, that's fantastic. I really appreciate it. I wish my wife would say that to me. Have a good one.
Thanks.
And then they're just like, get more pissed off that you're being all nice to them, and you're just like, it's kind of fun, because now I'm like, I'm being an asshole without being an asshole. And it's like, I feel better and you feel worse. And it worked out,
A lot of times when you do that with the killing with kindness kind of thing, they just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And so then, and I've used this tactic for one of our owners, and they've just gone quiet because they didn't know what to do with my positive happiness.
They're like, this lady's too nice. Bring back the old one.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Nice.
Go ahead, Matt. Do you have something?
Go for it.
No, I was more curious, like, how did the relationship at the Beachside VR, like, how did that come about? Like, obviously they're growing really fast. They found a need for you. How did they find you, and what made you realize, since you've been in the vacation rental space for so long, what made them realize that it was you were a great fit and you were a piece that was missing? How did that whole relationship kind of transpire?
That's a good question. I've actually known Riley for a while. Beachside was a client of Better Talent. So that's how that relationship was. And Corey also worked with Better Talent. She's the Beachside general manager now. She's been with Beachside since December. So Riley hired her. And then they approached me, had a conversation with Riley and JJ together. They already knew kind of who I was and how I was at Better Talent. They knew my work ethic. They just knew who I was as a person. So it was a pretty seamless ask. I thought about it for a little while just because it was such a shift to be on the property management side. But it just, they gave me no reason to say no. Every question I had, every concern I had, everything I talked about, they came back with an answer. Their consistency was incredible. And they just made me feel at peace about the decision and like I want to be a part of this team.
Yeah.
So they made it easy for me, honestly.
I feel like that's what good leadership looks like, is like, when your company's like not huge, it's like you seem like you were the kind of person that they already knew they wanted. Like they didn't have to post a job posting or go
I didn't.
interview a bunch of people. They're like, hey, like if we need this role filled, this person would be perfect for them. How do we go out and get
Yep.
them? And let's get them everything they need to make it a yes. And I love that. That's awesome. So you were the who for them in their situation to help solve the owner relations.
It was like one of those meant to be things. They knew who I was. They talked to a few people. I will never forget. Riley called me on a Saturday evening. I'm like, huh. And so, cause that was strange. And so I answered and we just had a great conversation. And then that turned into another conversation. And then JJ was involved and then it was done. It just kind of happened. So, and yeah, they didn't have it posted anywhere. It was just one of those things. The timing was perfect.
Yeah. Maybe poke him after you do this and just see if he'll.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I was going
to say, since you have an in and all.
Yeah. I usually don't have any trouble getting any guests on the show. So like, I don't know. I sent him a message.
To Riley?
Yeah, I think so. A long time ago on LinkedIn. I don't know. I guess I didn't look back at it if he even read it or not, but I remember sending
He's
him.
not on LinkedIn. Yeah, he's not on LinkedIn a whole lot. So
that might be what it is. Well, let him know the offer is still there if he wants to. I've heard him on another podcast, and he was very funny. So I think he is very funny. Yeah, he was funny. Like on the podcast, like I don't know necessarily he was trying. Like he was just like seemed naturally funny, right? Like he was just like being himself. But I was like, he's smart, but like what he says is funny.
Yep, anyways, that's exactly right.
And then we'll have had the whole Beachside VR leadership team on our show. So yeah.
Yeah, I told Corey, she's the general manager and who I worked with at Better Talent. She's hilarious. I told her before this, I'm like, just come on with me. And she was like, no.
Yeah, we like funny people.
She is so funny, which is why this team, the Beachside team, I've never been anything quite a part of. Like they're very intentional and purposeful with who they hire. And I think it's a vibe thing for them. And they want to make sure that everybody meshes together and works really well together. And there's a lot of laughter throughout the day, even just in the Slack channels or things like that, just to kind of keep things lighthearted, because we all know this is going to be very stressful too. And that laughter is important. And everybody within the team is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just can't have too many funny people in here, because then Austin will like message me after. He's like, you took it too far. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Austin, I can't help it.
Quit goofing around.
I'm just the kind of guy that takes it too far. Like Frank the Tank, like that's just me. Like it is. I'm not going to run naked down the street or anything, but I mean, I'm out for a good time. It's just, it is what it is. I like the TV and the radio on at the same time.
See, you balance each other out, right? So like,
I think so. I think that's a good way to say it. So
does me and my wife. Yeah. It's like, I'll jump off the cliff in a minute. And she's like, wait a minute, don't do that. And I'm like, oh, good idea. I probably shouldn't. Yeah. So just one last question. What are they paying you? I'm just kidding. Joke. I do have one more question for you, actually. What's the number one complaint that you hear from clients?
Ooh, that's a good question.
We got sound effects, guys. No, that was me. Don't worry.
The number one complaint. That's a good one. I'm full of them.
I'm very deep,
Yeah.
No.
You have a number one complaint? I'm trying to think, because they're kind of spread throughout, like evenly throughout. Like a lot of them are, it looks like someone's having a party there. Can you do something about that? We get that.
Ooh, that would get on my nerves.
Yes, that one happens. Actually, that's happened a couple times this past week. That's why that just came to mind right away. Other complaints. That's probably the biggest one. Or like if revenue, like honestly, why isn't my house booked more? That's a continual, and it's cyclical, right? We all know there's different seasons. There's things depending on the area that you're in. A lot of owners buy houses and think they might become a millionaire, and that's just probably not how it's going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
Revenue
So having that,
expectations.
yeah, and what they're using it for, right? So that one is a lot. Why am I not seeing more bookings? So that's a conversation that's had weekly for sure. But I feel like that's probably across the board for anybody in the industry dealing with owners.
Yeah, and I think the owners don't understand the data. Like they don't understand, I've had somebody who's like, why am I not booked right now? And I'm like, look, dude, the market is 13% booked. Like if I get you a 5-day stay, like I am like a god among men. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, and they just don't understand it. And it's like I've had somebody who's like, no, the market is 45%. But I said, that's the whole market though. You're not looking at where your house is located.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's the average of everything. So it's like, I think education is probably like the biggest thing you can do for a client is to educate them. And then maybe I guess that's your job. Your job is to be an educator now.
Yeah. Educating them, talking about the reviews, how important those reviews are, how important it's like, hey, let's fix this chair so this guest doesn't leave a bad review. And then it just kind of, everything affects everything and it kind of snowballs. So if we can just get these little things fixed now, then this guest won't be unhappy and leave a bad review. And then you'll be happier because your rankings are going to be higher on whatever booking channel you're on. It all just kind of goes like this.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, Stephanie, if you want to let everybody know where they can find you and, anything else you want to share with everybody. And we appreciate your time today. It was fun.
It was
a blast.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun to talk about. I feel like I could deep dive into owner relations even more. Like, when you get started talking about something and you just kind of could keep going. Forward to conversations like that. So this was fun for me. Thanks for having me. No so we'll be at VRMA. So hopefully we'll see people there.
When is that?
It's in October in Nashville.
Oh, VMRA in October in Nashville.
Yeah, it's like October 5th through 8th or something like that.
All right, guys, use the code co-host. I'm just kidding. I don't know if that code still works. But awesome. Okay, that sounds good. Maybe I'll head out to that one. I'm not really sure. But cool. Awesome. Stephanie, thank you. You've been a pleasure. Really enjoyed your time today. Hopefully your lunch was approved and you don't get in trouble. And if you do, you could just tell, Riley could talk. He can come on the show and tell us all about it.
Yeah. I'll direct him your way.
Awesome. All right. And with that, I'll let Austin ring it out.
All righty. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.
Welcome to the Co-Host Bros Podcast.